Mum was always into crafts and different things. She always had us kids sitting around the table drawing each other, always making things when we were younger. My brother was my oldest brother. He could draw like nothing else. I started to explore my culture more myself with my art, always finding ways to paint my pictures my way. When I started to become known as an artist, I said to my auntie, "You still got that first painting I ever painted?" And she said, "No, I lost it." And she said, "I'm kicking myself now though because starting to make it in the art world." And she said, "I always knew you'd be a great artist, but I didn't think you'd go as far as you have with it." I was quite proud of it at the time that my auntie wanted to buy it. I don't know if I've changed my style as much as exploring new things and always trying to grow as an artist. I think if we as Aboriginal people just stick to our traditional art, then it doesn't allow us to grow in the modern world. I've done exhibitions with my digital art where I've superimposed the traditional art over top, so by doing those sorts of things allows us as artists to grow and not just be caught in the past, but also look to the future, and especially kids that don't have that connection to culture, to say, "Oh, I can't be an artist, I can't be an Aboriginal artist because I can't paint like that tribe, or I can't paint like my tribe." Doesn't matter. If you're doing digital photography, it's Aboriginal photography because you're an Aboriginal person. To me, that is so much more important. Most Aboriginal peoples, when they're growing as artists and exploring these new forms, there's always that hint that when you look at it, you can see that an Aboriginal person has done it. I look at lots of different things. I look at things that influence me day to day. Years ago when the Canberra bushfires were on, I decided to paint animals running from the bushfires because so many native animals were killed in the Canberra bushfires. It played a part in what I then done with my art. So it can be a lot of different things that influence you as you go along with your art. Well, my message would be, your stuff will be Aboriginal regardless of what form you take up. That's what I love about Albert Namatjira. He painted, he allowed himself to explore those different forms and allowed them to become a great artist in that form that he painted. Have a go at other things. Keep your culture strong in whatever you do, which our people do anyways. But to have a go and not to be too scared to put yourself out there and be proud of what you do. You know you want it. I know I want it. No one should have it. My dream is to be a famous artist, regardless of what people say. When you first start off, there are a lot of negatives, but there's also a lot of positives. And what you got to do is ignore the negatives and just focus on the positives. There's day-to-day struggles you have with yourself as an artist, in that you might not think your work's good enough for an exhibition, whether people will turn up to your exhibition. When you're standing there as an artist and you've laid out a little bit of money on canvases and framing, and you put on food and you put on wine for the guests, and there's always that thing of, what if someone don't turn up? And it can be a big fear. It can be a big fear because you want people to come along to exhibitions to see what you see in your head and to see what you feel as an artist. Because when people come in to their gallery and they go, wow, it instantly picks you up because they're seeing what you see. And it's not an easy thing to put an exhibition together. It's probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do as an artist. I think if you want to become a famous artist, I think a true art person that goes to galleries to view exhibitions and to buy paintings want to buy it as an investment in you as an artist, to know that you'll still be there in another 10 years, creating exhibitions that they come to and buy your next piece. So you hope as an artist to build a following. The central painting is about a meeting ground with the people sitting around a fire having a meeting or a gathering. The movement of the lines leading off of that is the symbol of our connection to Mother Earth and the different colours of Mother Earth. Then the line designs of the scar tree is that symbol of the scar tree itself. Because I wanted the central painting to be a good size to show the significance of these trees. They go on a lot about the importance of these cave paintings. Importance of these. Paris is the art mecca of the world. I'd love to see one of my pieces, somewhere in Paris. Second to that, I would love to see one of my pieces hung here in the National Gallery here in Canberra. I think it's important to that your own country recognises you and sees you as a valued artist. Pretty much anywhere around the world, I think it'd be nice to have an exhibition that travels, so they're dreams, and I believe dreams come true. There's a lot of great urban artists that live in cities that just are so passionate about their culture and so passionate about what tribe they belong to and passionate about their art. And I don't think just because you live in a city that they should be looked on as any less than that. You are Aboriginal, and your culture is as important as anybody else's. The museums and galleries, national galleries and stuff, need to start looking at our Aboriginal urban artists and allowing them to fill some spaces. I try not to allow there to be too much influence from other Indigenous artists, because you can often fall into their space. So I think if you follow your own dreams and have your own influences and your own creations, then you set up your own journey. I ride a Harley Davidson. I refer to that as my walkabout machine. My boys got a Harley, so then I sat down and painted up our skid lids, or what you call a helmet, with Aboriginal designs. In the future, I'm hoping to hold an exhibition of just motorbike helmets and possibly push bike helmets, and these are the things that influence us mob today. I love riding, I love getting out on the Harley, breeze in the face and roar under and rattling underneath you, and so I'm hoping to do up an exhibition of helmets. When I went into the Harley shop to buy my Harley, I looked across the floor and there was all black and gold Harleys, and There was one red one sitting there, and I don't know what it is with our people and red, but the red stood out to me and I couldn't help myself. I just had to have my red Harley. It hasn't got a wireless, but you know. I grew up in Wellington, New South Wales, near Dubbo, so that's all my mob's country, what we say my mob's country up there. Grew up there as a kid, went to school there. Well, I've got 5 brothers and 3 sisters. So it's a fairly big family, fairly big house growing up, you know, all in a house together. Let alone when you had cousins and stuff come over and stay. So it was nothing new to wake up, go to sleep at night by yourself, and wake up with a couple of your cousins in bed with you because they come and visit. It was nothing, you know, new to have a big mob around you all the time. I think family keeps you strong and grounded, you know, keeps you who you are. And I thought growing up was awesome. I thought Mum done a great job with all us kids, to have all of us kids close in age and keep us all, you know, safe, warm and always a roof over our head. My mum to me is everything. She's my world, yeah. She done it tough, you know, having us mob, but I absolutely adore her. I think she's just everything to me. And so is my dad. He always, he was a strict old fella. He was strict in the way that you weren't allowed to roam the streets. You weren't allowed to just run with your mates whenever you wanted to run. Holidays were back home to family. If we lived in Wellington, then we had family in Queanbeyan, near Canberra, so you would come here. And when you lived here, you went back home to Wellington. That was your holiday, back with your mob. That's where you belong. Back on the country, back with your mob, that was it. My kids are everything to me. They're just the bomb. They are my world. And they fit into every part of my world. Things, my business about my culture, so my kids have been part of it since they were in nappies. So them with the dancing and all of that sort of stuff, they just fitted in and wanted to be part of it. So therefore every day, every minute of my day is around my kids. This is my first major, big exhibition, so I'm hoping to slowly grow and get it moving that way. It starts with that little dot in the middle. That one there. And then you just work out from there. It's so nice to have you all here. As an artist, I'm learning that, you know, the most hardest time is standing there with an empty room with all your art and no guests. But it's nice to see that first face walk through the door.